Hi fellow audio enthusiasts, I have another quick video for you today because we're covering a pretty short topic here. Actually, we can cover both of these. The first thing we're covering in this quick little double feature is DCAs. DCA stands for Digitally Controlled Amplifier. It is a digital amplifier. However, in the board, you can kind of just imagine it as a pure group. It is a group that does nothing else more than just group things for your convenience. It is impossible to EQ a DCA. DCAs only have a fader and nothing else. So for that reason, the standard, like the default position of any given channel is fader all the way down, muted. The standard default position of a DCA should always be unmuted and at 0, because DCAs themselves are not inputs. DCAs are groupings of other inputs. So, for example, this microphone is currently in the Gus bus and the recording DCA. Actually, it should not be in the recording DCA. Hold on, give me a second. Why is it? Hello. Okay, hold on. Let's mute this and then. Okay, so it is currently in the Gus bus DCA. If I use my pinky finger here, can you see my pinky? There you go. You can see my finger. We're gonna mute the DCA, and now you can't hear me anymore. But if I unmute, now you can hear me again. If you turn the fader down, whoa, you can't hear me anymore. If you turn the fader back up, now you can hear me. Because that's what a DCA does. It also, basically that fader controls everything that is in that DCA. How do you see what is in a DCA? If you select it, then suddenly the light starts flashing, and it shows you on the left only the channels that are in the DCA. So all of these are in the DCA, and the black slots are just empty spaces because this is all that's in the DCA. Also notice that the vocals bus is selected when we have the DCA selected. Whoa, do we have two things selected at the same time? No. It's flashing because that's not actually selecting something. That's like just selecting the DCA, which does not count as an actual selecting. Also, in the top left of the screen, where it tells you what you have selected at all times, if you select DCAs, it never changes because you can't actually select a DCA. Lovely. How do you change what's in a DCA? Okay, if you tap a DCA, it shows you what's inside. If you hold down on a DCA, it also shows you what's inside by lighting up the select button's green. If you then, while holding down on the DCA select button, tap on various other channels, I accidentally hit sends on faders there, but now you can see that when I'm holding down on this, those buttons still light up because these are now in the DCA. So let's add these 3 to the DCA, and then when I hit it, you can see that those channels are now added to the DCA. And when I hold down on this and unselect them, now they're removed from the DCA. Cool. What can DCAs be used for? They can be used for several different things. If you have a group of vocalists and you want to group those together, you could either use a bus or a DCA. If you have a group of instruments, you could use a DCA. If you have a specific set of effects or just want all of your effects to be controllable from one space, you can use a DCA. Also, it can be really helpful for teaching people to board. For example, the Gus bus, named after I Wonder Who, if you select it, it shows you this. These are a very specific set of channels that will tell you everything you need to know to run an event. Because most events just use up to 5 mics. These are our 5 mics. Our 2 aux channels that we use, 5 and 6, for that computer over there playing music for dance shows and such. The vocals bus, the aux bus, and then reverb if you want it. The Gus bus is designed to only include the stuff that you would need for running an event. To be honest, we don't even need that reverb, so hold on. There we go. Cool. Samtram was made when my friend Sam Cam, a former set chief, came up here, saw the Gus bus and said, "Oh, I want one." And I was like, "It can be the Samtram." And she was like, "Yeah." Recording is for all of the recording stuff. You can delete the Samtram if it's around back in your time, just because nobody's going to remember that. If you delete the Gus bus, I will find you. And the rest of the DCAs are blank, and you can use for whatever you want. Cool. There you go. All right. That was DCAs. Mute groups. So mute groups are literally just groups of mutes. You can press one button down here and it will mute a group at the same time. For example, mute group 1 mutes everything. Mute group 2 also mutes everything, so that you can do some interesting layering where you have some stuff unmuted and then you can do this. Also, it means that if you have various things unmuted, sometimes, okay, we used to only have one mute group button that muted everything, and so if we had some channels going at some time, in order to, you usually want to save the mute groups for when there's feedback and you don't know where it's coming from, so it's the emergency, like, panic mute everything button. If you, normally we have mute group 1 already selected, so if you press it twice, it's going to unmute everything for a second, which can make the feedback way worse before it mutes everything. So what we have instead is 2 mute group buttons that do the exact same thing, which is mute everything, so that no matter what the buttons are like, because usually the buttons are going to be like this, where you can always select the one that isn't. And there you go, you can do that. And then do that series to get back to the one. So you do bam, 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 bam. Or wait, no. You do bam, 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 bam. Yeah, you can just do that. That makes more sense. Okay. However, the rest of these mute groups can do whatever you want. For example, I believe one of these mute groups is made specifically for the effects. Let's see. Yeah, it's this one. Mute group 3. That one's just controlling the effects. How do you control what a mute group mutes? If you hit the mute group button up here, it opens up the little mute group tool belt, as I like to call it, because it opens it up on the bottom no matter where you are on the main page. You can go anywhere you want, and you're still wearing that mute group tool belt as long as you're pressing this button. And now these buttons are the mute groups. These buttons are no longer the mute groups while you have the tool belt on. These work the exact same way as select does for DCAs. If you hold it down, hold on. If you hold down the mute group button and select it that way, it shows you everything that is selected. And then you can unselect stuff, and there you go. That is no longer in the mute group. So, for example, if I leave the tool belt, unmute everything, you just saw that one channel that I removed from the mute group. If I hit it, whoa, everything but that one channel gets muted because that one channel is no longer in the mute group. So let's add it back. And now, leave the tool belt and shablam. There you go. That's DCAs and mute groups. Quick little lesson for y'all. Nothing too crazy. Yeah. All right. Catch y'all on the flip side.